Immediately following the end of the fighting of the Civil War, a new battle emerged, and this was the fight for the memory of the Civil War. Southerners didn't want to take the blame for fighting a war to promote slavery, but they still wanted to maintain that dominant white society that they had established. So there's something that emerges called the lost cause, that the Southerners were not fighting for slavery. In fact, they were fighting for states' rights in the face of a dominant federal authority. They tried to ignore the causes and the outcomes of the war by focusing on the valor and the bravery of the soldiers fighting the war. They talk about how the North just overwhelmed them with men and machinery, and the fact that the North had more factories and all this. We should avoid this interpretation. The South was fighting to promote slavery. If there was a states' rights argument to be made, it was the fact that the states were trying to promote this slave system. We know that they were doing this because we can read their declarations of secession, which basically said that they were fighting to promote this. Alexander Stephens, in his the vice president of the Confederacy, had a cornerstone speech in which he said, "The cornerstone of our new nation is the subjugation of the African race." There is a traditional interpretation that goes along with this that says that Congress and the Northern Republicans were all radicals trying to punish the South. This goes back to the early 1920s and 30s, where groups of historians were sympathizing with the emerging Jim Crow in the South. And you have cases like Plessy versus Ferguson that had established Jim Crow in the late 1800s. We need to avoid this because modern scholarship is showing us that that traditional interpretation is incorrect, and that the South was trying to demonize the North so that they could justify their actions, which we're going to see soon, which vilified African Americans that were elected and Northerners that were trying to promote a more modernized version of the South.